Mm.
Now being recorded. Once again, my name is Valerie Hash, and I am your program manager for MAAC Project and the Unidos in Finance program for spring 2021. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to place those inside the chat box. Also, please make sure to write your full name inside the chat box. That way it will count for your attendance today, and I will send you your invitation to interview later on today. Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you, Anna. So before I begin going into what the program does, pardon me, before I go into the Unidos in Finance program, let me just give a little quick back information on MAAC. MAAC is a wonderful nonprofit that is here local in San Diego, and the mission is really to maximize self-sufficiency. So through various programs, through various opportunities, and through various properties that we own, we are offering more self-sufficiency opportunities for our community. And really the greatest thing about this organization is that it is local, it is focused directly on our community, and it literally started in a garage. This program, this organization started with a need. There was a need in the community, a need to advocate for jobs, for workforce preparedness, and for more opportunities that were happening within our own neighborhoods. So this fantastic organization got together completely grassroots out of a garage to advocate for those opportunities. And they created great change in the area, specifically Barrio Logan. Now, 55 years later, we have expanded our services to cover the entire swath of San Diego County. Do that in several ways. We have various pathways that we focus our programs on. Education, that would include these types of programs where we're doing workforce education, economic development, health and well-being, housing, leadership, and advocacy. And in leadership and advocacy, we really are one of those voices for our community. You will see our leadership working with the mayor, working with our county officials, and even going up to Sacramento and working on a state level to ensure that our communities are very well represented and the needs of our community are heard. Now, some of the ways that we do this, like I said, we are rather large. So we now cover all the way at the top of the map from Fallbrook all the way down into San Isidro. And we do that in various ways. Now, right now, like I said, we're established in 1965, and we have more than 36 different sites that we are at. $50 million budget because we have almost 500 employees all across the county at 36 different sites. And we still have additional sites that are slated for expansion or for construction. In the North County, you'll see a lot of those orange dots. Those are our child development centers. MAAC is actually the largest early childhood education childcare provider in the county. And a lot of those are in the North County. We also have, as you can see, some affordable housing units. All of those teal colored ones are our affordable housing properties. We are not receiving government subsidies for those properties. We are providing those opportunities at below market value to provide affordable housing opportunities in specific communities. And we do have additional sites that are slated for construction, hopefully in National City as well as in Otay and expanding into the Imperial County. Our administrative offices, we have one down in South County here in Chula Vista, and then we also have another new office up in Vista. So Chula Vista and Vista, we're covering the North and the South. Something we're very, very proud of is that down in Chula Vista, we have our very own charter school. So we have a charter high school that is considered an alternative school and really, really helps those students in our community who need that leg up to get their high school diploma. We also have workforce programs within MAAC Charter School that provides workforce opportunities for those graduates. We also have weatherization programs. We have a very robust DUI program. We have senior services. We run food distributions at all of our sites and much, much more. But that's just a snapshot of some of the great work that MAAC is doing in our community. And every year we are touching more than 70,000 people with all of these different programs. Now to Unidos in Finance. Unidos in Finance is a great program because number one, it's workforce preparedness, getting you ready for an excellent career in the world of banking and or finance. And we're doing this for free. Because of COVID, we've been able to secure some funding and provide this training, very comprehensive training for absolutely no cost. And we're also offering the opportunity online now. Even though we wanted to have it as an in-person course, we are doing all of our work synchronously and asynchronously online. This program is specifically looking for bilingual people, bilingual speakers. We do have an emphasis on Spanish speaking. However, knowing how much of a melting pot our community is, there is a need for multiple different types of languages. So if you are not a Spanish speaker, but you speak another language and you are bilingual or multilingual in any other language, that is fantastic. We definitely want to speak to you and we definitely want to work with you. It's really looking for those bilingual individuals because there are definitely a lot of need for that in our banks and financial institutions. We partnered with Unidos US to create this comprehensive curriculum along with Bank of America. Now, Bank of America is an industry leader in academy and industry education, so specifically training for bank and finance professionals, and they are the ones that created this particular curriculum. So it is nationally recognized by the industry as being very well developed. There are some portions that are delivered in Spanish, but everything is done in English. The course does teach some various vocabulary. And so when I mentioned that some things are in Spanish, there are certain words that are translated to Spanish for phrasing within the banks. So things that would be said in the banks and in those financial institutions. We are also teaching customer service skills. We're teaching workforce readiness and helping with some of those things such as resume writing, getting your LinkedIn ready, as well as your mock interview opportunities and cover letters. Because the banks are getting ready to start hiring again, there will be some entry-level opportunities, and those are the kinds of job placement assistance that we can help you provide. One of the greatest things about this amazing program is the networking opportunity and the opportunity to actually meet people that are working in those banks and have that warm handoff, have that warm virtual handshake. So that you're able to understand what is expected of you in those specific institutions and what you need to do to get your foot in the door. Now, why is this program around? Why would they even create something like this? Well, there is a banking issue with the Hispanic community. Almost 30% of Latino households in the United States are underbanked. That means they are underserved. They're not provided with the same opportunities as others, and there are several reasons for this, and we'll go into that. More than 30% of Hispanic households do not have mainstream credit, meaning that a lot of Hispanic population is going into our banks, getting a basic checking account because that's where the direct deposit goes, and that is it. Not working on savings, not having the opportunity to have expanded car loans, and even having home loans is not necessarily something that a lot of our Hispanic households have, and that's a problem. So knowing this, our banks are looking inward and looking at themselves and realizing that less than 10% of their executives are Latino, and understanding that soon, within the next 10, 20 years, the Hispanic population will be the majority. That means there's some reckoning that has to happen. So the banks and financial institutions realize they need to do some recruiting in our communities of color, specifically in our Spanish-speaking and bilingual communities, to have that representation, to have that cultural competency. Because I don't know about you, but I guarantee a lot of us here on this call have had to go into a bank or a business to translate for a family member.
Yeah, we have.
I guarantee it. I remember being 10 years old and trying to translate very important financial information for my family members, and that's not right. So we want to make sure that our financial institutions are equipped with the right kind of people that are going to be able to help with that. So that's the reason that this was created, and that's the reason that we're focusing here in the San Diego area, because even now you can still go into a bank in San Isidro and not find someone that speaks Spanish, when the community in that area is predominantly Spanish speaking. So knowing that, we are helping them make the change by adding this specific program. So how do you know if you are the right fit? Is this going to be a good program for you? Number one, 18 or older. You've got your high school diploma or your GED. You have the right to work, meaning that if you are an immigrant, you have papers. You have no felony convictions. And the reason we say this is because a lot of banks do extensive background checks, specifically looking for things like felonies or bank fraud, stuff like that. You should definitely be fluent in English, but also have some bilingual experience in either Spanish or another language. We prefer to have 6 months worth of customer service experience. If you have a little bit less, that's okay, but the more the better, because what I've heard from my banking institutions is that you can teach all the compliance, you can teach all the cash handling, but it's difficult to teach customer service. So as long as you have some ability and understanding customer service, that will be very helpful. Of course, some basic computer literacy skills, because everything at the bank is done online and on computers nowadays. So you want to make sure that you are competent in computers as well. But what can really set you apart from others, what can really make you desirable for these banks and financial institutions, and that would be definitely someone super outgoing, very friendly, someone that you can look at them and you can tell they're smiling even if they have a mask on. They always want that. Definitely strong work ethic, anything that you can connect to a banking job. So knowing that your previous experience, whether you were a cashier or a zookeeper, whatever you were doing, how can you apply those items to the work that you would be doing in a bank? So the ability to speak about that is very, very helpful. You gotta like working with people. Not necessarily that you love sales, but you should have a little bit of sales experience. It's very helpful. A lot of banks are really pushing toward the idea of not selling products, but offering services. But there are areas within the banks that they are heavy seller and commission based. So if that's your thing, if you love to sell, you love to talk, you've got that gift of gab, that's great. That is definitely going to help you out, but it is not a hard requirement. So if you don't like selling stuff, but you like helping people, that's okay. That's going to be exactly what you're doing. And then we do like to have a little bit of cash handling experience. So just knowing that you've ever run a register, you've ever had to work with money, that type of experience is going to be very, very helpful. Now, looking at the schedule, this is the schedule of days that we will have our class. We're going Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Time is 9 a.m. to 12:30. There will be some optional workshops offered to our constituents. None of those are required, but some of those workshops might include additional work on resumes, work on your LinkedIn account, additional mock interview support with other areas of your life that you may need assistance in order to be successful in this course. We will have some of those opportunities as well. During this time, this is the time that you would be online, synchronous with a professor. We have an awesome professor from Southwestern College, and they will be doing all of the instruction online. Excellent question, Marco. Yes, all of the workshops will be done online. I do have the opportunity to invite people into my office one-on-one. So if they do need that extra attention and would like to come in to speak to me, absolutely, not a problem. But everything else will be done online. The next step after this will be to schedule an interview. Once you schedule your interview, after that interview, we will let you know probably within the next 24 to 48 hours after that interview if you were selected for the program. It is a competitive program. There are only 20 spots left and we have 60 applicants. So taking the next step and coming to this orientation is definitely going to help. Now, as far as logistics and attendance, everything is online. So that's going to be very helpful because you can do so from the comfort of your own home, the comfort of wherever you happen to be working. So that's going to be very, very helpful. If you need to miss class for some reason, things happen, that's okay. I know some of us might have kids right next to us trying to do distance learning, or we might be caring for other members of our family. We understand as long as you communicate those things, you are allowed to excused absences. Consistent tardiness, unexcused absences will get you booted from the program because the ultimate goal is to get our people employed. That is the goal, is to complete the program, be fantastic so we can go out to our financial institutions, out to our banks, and out to other jobs even, so that you can look at making those connections and getting employed. All of our coursework will be done via Zoom. So this platform here that you got onto in order to be with me today is exactly what we're going to use to do our face-to-face instruction. So our instructor from Southwestern College will be able to speak to you face-to-face on Zoom. We'll be using a Google Classroom to list any documents you may need, any classwork you'll need to do will all be hosted on Google Classroom and on Google Drive. I will also offer an optional workshop on how to use Google Classroom before our class starts. Finally, what are the program benefits? Why should you schedule your interview? Why should you get excited about this? Because you'll receive a certificate from Unidos in Finance through MAAC. You're also going to receive the instruction and curriculum from a nationally recognized organization like Bank of America. You're going to have instruction from an awesome professor at Southwestern College, and Southwestern College has additional offerings that you can take if you would like. You'll get help with your resume, polishing that up and getting that ready. We'll help you build out your LinkedIn account because, believe it or not, LinkedIn is the place to be when you want to get a job. That is where a lot of our forums, a lot of our bankers, a lot of our institutions are placing all of that information first. That's the first place they're going to go. So we'll make sure to have that for you. We'll also provide mock interview opportunities because interviews are terrifying. And now that we're doing interviews on Zoom, they seem a little awkward. So we want to give you practice. We will have opportunities to sign up for mock interviews, and where we'll be working directly with industry professionals. The coolest thing to do is we have a lot of networking opportunities. And here are a couple of the institutions that we will be networking with. So you will meet guest speakers that directly work with each of these institutions. Many of our guest speakers are actual branch managers at these institutions. So if you really want to work for My Point Credit Union, because you know it used to be Point Loma Credit Union and you really want to work there, I will have people that you can meet directly, connect with them on LinkedIn, get their email, and start having those conversations to really introduce yourself in a strong professional manner so that when you apply for the job, your application goes to the top of the list because it's going to get competitive. As things start opening up, as people start re-entering the workforce after COVID shutdowns, it's definitely going to open up some opportunities, but it is going to be competitive. So we want to give you as much information as possible, and networking with all these partners, our friends at Chase, Bank of America, Mission Fed, all of them come in and volunteer, give their expertise, give you advice. So utilize it. So that you can get that opportunity to get those entry-level jobs. Now, like I said, my name is Valerie Hash. I am your program manager. Please make sure that you enter your name into the chat. I would appreciate it if everyone enter their name into the chat. That way I make sure I have everybody on here. Just a few words from some of our past cohorts. They really like the networking opportunities. Every single one of my people that have gotten hired have said straight out, the reason I got hired was because of the networking. That is where I got that warm handshake, that warm handoff that helped me land the job. A lot of our students also really enjoyed the mock interview opportunities because they got direct feedback. Hey, maybe you should talk a little bit more about this, or did you realize that you shake your finger at me a lot? So whatever those issues might be, there will be professionals in those mock interview opportunities to point some of those things out and help you so that when you get into the real interview, you'll know exactly what to expect. Also, at the end of our program at graduation, we will have interview opportunities directly from our bank partners as they are opening up positions. So with that said, do I have any questions, any comments, any concerns thus far from my friends here on our orientation? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask me any questions that you might have.
Valerie, you mentioned about a class or for the Google Drive and the Google Classrooms.
Yes.
How do we sign for that?
After you're selected for the program, you will receive an invitation. So the next step is going to be an interview. After this orientation, I will send out an email that will give you a link for dates to interview. All interviews are happening next week on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you'll have plenty of times to choose from. Once you select that, I will email you a Zoom link for our interview. And after that, you'll receive an email inviting you to the Google Classroom and congratulating you on your acceptance.
Got it. Thank you.
Will the official certificate be linkable through LinkedIn? Yes, it should be. And a lot of things that I do too sometimes is if my friends here are on LinkedIn and they're connected with me and they share things like their resume, I share that out to my network as well, which is a lot of financial institutions and banks. Are there any other questions? You have is probably a question someone else has too.
You said something about a class that was 3 days per week, but do you have to attend all those 3 days per the week?
Yes.
And it's 9 to 12, you said, or something like that?
Yes, 9 to 12:30.
Yeah, because I have a class like on Mondays through Wednesdays that I have to attend from 10 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So how would that work out?
What class is it?
I'm taking pre-calculus.
Yeah, you're going to want to pay attention to that. Were you referred by anybody?
Well, I was referred by somebody that just signed up for the program.
Through Southwestern College or?
Yeah, Southwestern College.
Okay, perfect. All right, so here's what you're going to do. I'm going to run another cohort in June. So after you're done with your class, that's when you should apply.
Alrighty.
Because I talked to Southwestern College. I know who you are, and I think you're fantastic and perfect for the program. But I don't want you to miss out on pre-cal.
Alrighty.
Because if you like kind of pay attention to one or the other, you're not going to get a great grade that you deserve in that class. So it's probably best for you to focus. But I will keep your name in mind because I want you to apply for the next cohort.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, no, and thank you. That's an excellent question. So yes, it is a live class. It is on during that time, and there will be some asynchronous opportunities. You won't be staring at the screen for 3.5 hours. But you will be expected to log on at that time that we are taking attendance.
All right.
But I've heard great things about you, and I'd love for you to apply again in the summertime. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not from San Diego, but I'm going to Southwestern College, and I'm actually from the Imperial County. So I saw something about Imperial County on the map. I just wanted to know exactly like more information about it. Like, what did it mean? Imperial County on the map.
Well, I know that we're getting ready to build a facility out in Imperial County. So I believe we're going to start with an affordable housing unit. So we're purchasing property, and we're going to be creating that affordable housing opportunity. And then inside that affordable housing opportunity, we'll also have a STEP center, which is a community center that we'll have as well. Because I do have contacts with our bank offices and our bank managers, we can still do references out into Imperial County as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you,
What if
ladies
I have a
and gentlemen.
question?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
Marco.
What if I live like, okay, kind of like by Temecula, you know where the IE area is at?
Uh-huh.
So I live up here. Is that gonna affect me? I mean, I can still drive down south like Escondido, Fallbrook, you know, like that's the closest area to me, but that's my question.
It shouldn't be a problem because, like I said,
Okay.
we have a lot of our partners. I mean, Chase, Bank of America, they've got branches everywhere. So even if you're participating just a little bit outside of San Diego County lines, we're still able to help because it's COVID and everything's online. So
Awesome.
that's opening up an opportunity for some of us.
Awesome. Thank you for your answer, Miss Ash.
Of course, no problem. Well, it is now 2:24, and I promised to keep it short and sweet. So I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes in case anybody has any questions. I will be happy to answer those. But thank you very much for your time. You should expect an email from me within the next, 30 minutes. I'll send you an email, and then you'll click on that. It'll give you a link to sign up, and it'll show you all these different time slots that you can sign up for that. Once you sign up for your time slot, I will then send you another Zoom invitation.
All right. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Victor.
much,
Thank you,
Valerie.
everybody.
Thank
Marisol,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
you.
And if you have questions, I'm here.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank
you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss Ash. Have a good day.
Thank you. I'm excited to work with you, Marco. And thank you, Victor. And
Thank you.
Angel, for having your camera on. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you, Caitlin, for all of your assistance. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. You too.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.